In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And then his mother told him what to do. Have a seat, friends. Every one of the Gospels has a different way of beginning the ministry of Jesus. Next week we get Luke, when Jesus reads from a prophetic script in Isaiah about justice. Today, we get a party. We get a party at which Jesus is a sort of secondary guest. It is Jesus' mother who is invited to the party, and Jesus and his disciples are also invited. Feels a little bit like an afterthought. And it's a wedding. Weddings are week-long celebrations. Week-long celebrations where people are expected to be fed with food and an abundant amount of wine so that they can celebrate for a week. Given the fact that partway through this wedding, the wine runs out, it's probably likely that this couple may not have been the wealthiest of couples. Jesus has left Jerusalem. He has gone into Galilee, an area of Israel and Judea that is known for troublemakers and rebels. Herod, not the Herod of Jesus' birth, but his equally horrible son, has had to actually put down rebellions using the military, sending them into the region. He's had to do it twice. This area is a problem. It's full of caves and places where people and rebels can hide. It is also the economic backbone of Israel's tithe to Rome, because fishing and fish oil is essential for the survival of the Roman army and the maintenance of the Pax Romana, the peace that is not a peace. Jesus heads away from the center of power to go be with those who are without. Maybe this couple simply didn't have enough money to provide enough alcohol to last for the week. Maybe this couple's friends didn't have enough wine to bring, because often the way that weddings happen is people would bring wine, right? Bring a bottle or two of wine. Maybe this couple wasn't central enough to their community that people wanted to bring enough wine. Weddings and marriage are so often a central image of the relationship between God and God's people, because they are a place where something begins. A new relationship begins. A new relationship, not just between two people, but between multiple families. Communities come together. Elizabeth and I, like many queer folk, had two wedding dates. The legal one, which, by the way, we did in the state of Washington because it wasn't legal in Oregon when we needed to get married. And then the sacramental one, because for us, being married in the church, that's our actual wedding anniversary. And we did it in our backyard in Portland, because we didn't have a lot of money, and I have some issues with the wedding industrial complex and exactly how much we're supposed to spend on these celebrations. And what we did is, because I like pie, I don't like cake. For the record, I don't eat cake. just so you all know. I like pie. In particular, I like Marionberry pie. And I convinced my bride-to-be that we were going to have pie at our wedding. But making a lot of pies, because I'm also a snob about pies, and I don't accept just any Marionberry pie, it had to be a homemade Marionberry pie. So what we did is we made balls of dough and bags of Marionberry goo, and we handed it out to all of our friends over the 2 months before our wedding. And we said, bake the pie the night before the wedding and bring it. Friends, it was lovely. Every one of my friends got very creative with how they did the pie dough. We had all of these beautiful, tasty pies. We also had beer and wine. And it was a time when friends of ours from all walks of life came together. We had friends from my book group, with some of whom I had been in elementary school and college with. We had friends from our newly rooted Episcopal community. My friend Nathan did the service, and he actually did an Orthodox wedding ceremony for us, which I rewrote to make it a little bit more gender inclusive. But he did an Orthodox wedding service for us because we had come from the Eastern Orthodox Church, and Eastern Orthodox friends of ours were at our wedding. As a matter of fact, one of them asked that we not film the Eucharist because for them to be at our wedding could cost them the relationships in the church that we had been excommunicated from because of our relationship. Friends, I can tell you all sorts of stories about that wedding. It was an opportunity where people came together, and friends, people still talk to us about that wedding. They also talk to us about that wedding because we managed to give at least 14 of our friends listeria. It was a rough few days after that wedding for a number of us. Thank you, Costco and fruit. But at that celebration, all sorts of people came together because they loved us. Jesus' mom shows up at a wedding, and she is unnamed in this gospel. She is simply known as the mother of Jesus, and she shows up twice. She shows up now when she looks at her son and she says, "Hey, they've run out of wine." And he says, "Not my problem, Mom." And then she turns to other people and says, "Just do what he says." But he doesn't just say, "Not my problem." He says, "It's not my time yet. My hour has not yet come." That's the second place Jesus' mother shows up. When the hour has come. Jesus' mother next shows up in the Gospel of John at the foot of the cross. When Jesus is entering the hour of crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension, in the Gospel of John, all of these things go together. Because in the Gospel of John, we begin at the beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word created all things. And at the end, when the hour has come, the Word is crucified, the Word is resurrected, and the Word is ascended. Because in the Gospel of John, recreation is what resurrection is about. The coming of God to be flesh is so that all flesh, all creation, may participate in God. The Gospel of John is all about this amazing, overarching vision where creation participates in the work of the Creator. And friends, you know where it happens? It happens at a party. It happens when people come together and celebrate. How many of you were at our It's 12th Night Somewhere afternoon party 2 weeks ago. So many people afterwards said, "Oh, we needed this. We needed to celebrate." So many people put time and energy into it. The food was fabulous. Thank you to Caroline and so many people who helped out. Vicky went to Auburn to get mead for the party, because how do you have 12th night without mead? We sang together. Van played Christmas carols and Christmas season songs for us. And so many people said, "Oh, we needed this." Friends, a week before, I wasn't so sure we were going to be able to pull this party off, because we were tired, right? Christmas is full. It's been a rough couple months for Christ Church. For many of us, we're heading into a season of a lot of anxiety and fear. Christmas is a hard time anyways. We're with our families that we love. We're with our families that sometimes we really don't love. And sometimes we're not with our families that we wish we could be with. Or we have no family. I wasn't actually sure that we were going to be able to pull off a party. But I was sure we needed one. We just needed to celebrate. Friends, the first sign of Jesus in the Gospel of John, the first of 7 signs, is a sign of God's abundance. That's what a sign is. It's not about the miracle, the amazing thing that happens in that moment. It's about what that points to. Jesus shows up, and somewhat reluctantly, at the order of his mother, who apparently is pretty grounded, and she gets what's going on. At the order of his mother, he ensures that the party goes on. Most of the people at the party have no idea. The bridegroom is completely mystified, does no idea where this wine comes from. The steward is like, "You saved the best for last. That's weird." The servants knew, and Jesus' disciples knew. In the Gospel of John, the first revelation of the work of God is of God's abundance, of God's call to all of us to celebrate. I think we forget how important celebration is, especially in times of stress and anxiety. Our instinct is to batten down the hatches, to keep what we have for ourselves, to make sure that we have enough, whoever we is, and just hold tight until the world around us gets better. I have no idea if the world around us is going to get worse or better or some bizarre combination of both. What I know is that this congregation has a gift of celebration. That was so clear 2 weeks ago. I wasn't sure the party was going to happen, and oh wow, was it fun. You all came out of the woodwork. People enjoyed one another. Every one of our tables was full, and we had to pull up some extra chairs. Friends, we have a gift of celebration, and what a gift that is, not just for us, but for the world around us. As people are anxious and as they are afraid and as fires wipe out cities, friends, the house that I lived in seminary, I'm pretty sure is burnt to the ground right now. Friends, what a gift to invite people into this place and say, "Come, sing, laugh, eat, drink, be merry." That is a gift that we can offer. And friends, it is a gift grounded in a God who has created us to be creatures who celebrate the abundance of all creation. May it be so among us. Amen.